Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR HALACHA. And here's a brand new HALACHA for you, and it's for Thursday, 30th day of January, 4th day of Shvat. Here we go. We're continuing on in the laws of Tefilas Haderech, and now today we're going to do when do you say Tefilas Haderech, like at what point during your trip. Is it in the first second of your trip? So the Shulchan Aruch's general guideline is this. You say the Tefilas Haderech just after you exit the city, which means when you pass the last houses of the city. When is it called just past the city? According to the Shulchan Aruch, that's the code of Jewish law, it's considered that you've left the city after the last house when you're 70 amos after the last house. An amma is roughly 2 feet. So when you're about 140 feet, if you're in a car, it's just like a short few seconds after you're past the last houses. That's when you're eligible for Tefilas Haderech. In our cities, by the way, it's a little hard to calculate when exactly that is because our cities just, extend and extend and extend. So, if you travel a lot from your city, you may want to talk to the rabbi of your city and ask for the specifics of how it works in your city. We're actually going to give some up ahead in the next day or two, so here goes. If you sleep in a hotel, the Mishnah Berurah says, remember how we told you that each day of your trip you say a new Tefilas Haderech when you wake up in the morning when you continue your trip? So the Mishnah Berurah says that if you're sleeping over at a hotel, as soon as you pull away from the hotel, you're eligible for your daily Tefilas Haderech of your long trip already, because although you're still in maybe the city wherever the hotel was, but your trip continues the second you're leaving the hotel. So that's what the Mishnah Berurah says. The Aruch HaShulchan says, according to him, now I don't know if everybody follows this, but he says that as soon as you leave your house, your trip has begun. So he held that you could say Tefilas Haderech immediately. So you see, you should talk to your rabbi. I'm just showing you some of the guidelines that are out there. Rav Sheinberg says that if you're driving alone and you're not going to be able to safely stop anywhere on your trip and say the Tefilas Haderech, then he says you can even insert it in the Shema Kolenu bracha of your Shmona Esrei on the Shmona Esrei before you leave on your trip. And now a couple of specific examples, which will help if you're familiar with these places. It'll give you an idea of how it works. Your classic New York person, New York Jew, who's leaving from New York to go to the Catskill Mountains. That's a trip that lots of Jews from the tri-state area make. So Reb David Leibowitz, in his book that I follow here, he says that a good thing to do leaving New York City is once you're on the George Washington Bridge, you're out of New York City, per se, and you can say Tefilas Haderech. If you didn't say it then, and now you're back in that immediate area right after the George Washington Bridge, you're back in the houses again. So he says when you get to exit 2 of the Palisades Parkway, and you're back like in the open spaces again, then that would be your next availability to say Tefilas Haderech. When you're coming home from whatever camp you were at or bungalow colony you were at in the Catskill Mountains, once you get onto Route 17, which is that main highway that's going to get you back towards your New York location, once you're on Route 17, that's when you're eligible for Tefilas Haderech. If some of you know these areas that I'm talking about, if you do, then it'll give you an idea of how it might work for your city also. And tomorrow I think we'll give you a few more examples. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.